Yo,
Yo, what's up, dude? This is how many live shows have we done yet so far?
ever together?
Yeah.
In person.
This is the first time?
Oh, we did Why Are We Bullish together. You came to my house.
Oh, that's right. That was a very special moment.
You got super drunk.
Yeah.
Everybody, welcome to the show. Another Thursday, another episode of Simply Sessions. This time live from El Salvador.
Live from this is a first time though.
Yeah.
Live from El Salvador.
Yeah, 100%. I'm
Country. Yeah.
Very excited for it. So we are going to be bringing you all the latest and greatest in Bitcoin news. Very excited to be down here. I have check out this atrocity on my shoulder. I went for a hike the other day, and it's just, I am a lobster. It's unfortunate.
This is what happens when Canadians come to Latin America.
My supple Canadian skin can't handle sun. It's unfortunate. And also this is the first time doing a live show on location with you. So I'm a little nervous, might fuck it up right out the gate, drop some F-bombs. We also have Opti, and he's producing. so we're going to do it. But again, this is live. Anything can happen. So I defer to my friend Bill here.
Live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
All right. And of course, if you have not already, like, subscribe, share, all those things, they help a ton getting this content in front of more eyeballs. I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your Simply Session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
All right. And before we dive into the news, we're going to give a quick shout out to sponsors of the show here. So shout out to Bitcoin Well. Here we go. Well is on a mission to enable independence by being one of the easiest and quickest ways to purchase Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And the best part about it, every buy goes directly into your own self-custody. They never hold your coins. You can add a Bitcoin address as part of onboarding. There's a transparent 1% spread, no hidden fees, no withdrawal fees. Plus they have KYC free sells and bill payments on their website. They're also a publicly traded company under the ticker BTCW on the TSXV. Check them out over at bitcoinwell.com. Check out my full tutorial on how to use them, and you can check out the links in the show notes down below and sign up today. CoinKite.com has some of the best hardware on the market today to secure your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and is my daily driver. And on top of this, they have plenty of other goodies, including the Mark IV, the Tap Signer, Open Dimes, the Block Clock, and much more. If you head over to their website, make sure you use code BTC Sessions at checkout to get a nice discount. Links are in the show notes down below. Backups are important, and Seedor.io has one of the most robust and beautifully designed steel backup solutions on the market today. You can stamp your seed phrase into solid steel with one of their starter kits for 1 or 2 seeds, and secure your seed phrase from the elements like fire, water, and corrosion. On top of this, if you ever need to swap out any of the information therein, you can just grab a new set of discs and slide them into the capsule as you see fit. I've done a full tutorial on them that you can check out. Otherwise, click the links down below for the best shipping options for you. Yo, let's do it, man.
Bitcoinwell.com, baby.
Adam is the GOAT, though.
He is the GOAT. Adam is the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
We're gonna go hang out when you come to Canada.
Yeah. Not only are we gonna touch tips in El Salvador, but we're gonna touch tips in Canada as well. Multiple countries.
It's happening. It's happening. Really quick before we dive into the news here, of course, I just want to check out timechaincalendar.com. And of course, as always, we'll pull up the live chat. So everything that you guys say from here on in is live for the world to see, for better or worse. Timechaincalendar.com. You know what? I haven't been looking at price since I got here. I know that it dipped low, and now we're, 68K gang. I know that's not 58, but inflation, 68K gang. So we're sitting at 68,000. single US dollar, pick you up 1,470 sats. In terms of fees, what are we looking at here, man? Fees are in 16 sats per byte. Next block, that's not too bad. Bitcoin mined 19.67 million of them. That is 93.68% of the total supply. And funny enough, we're at the halving party, but the halving is actually 15 days and 19 hours away. Good job, Sean. In fact, what are you guys doing? Come on, this is what happens when you plan a having party a year out.
Dude, and it seems like it's scheduled for 420.
Yeah. This is the way.
Toshi did it on purpose.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into the news, man. I'll pull up your screen. I'll let you fill us in on what's going on, what's top of mind.
Yeah, the big kahuna today is Coinbase partners with Lightspark for Lightning Network integration. The article goes on to say, thrilled to announce that Coinbase has selected Lightspark to enable the Bitcoin Lightning Network across its platform and services. Yet another significant milestone for Lightning. Lightning to many millions of new people and 100 countries coming soon, announced Lightspark's CEO David Marcus. I mean, and you want to be specific also. Coinbase has 100 million users, continues to rise. Look, I know Bitcoiners, we don't like Coinbase. It's a shitcoin casino. But at the end of the day, it has this massive reach, this massive platform, and they capitulated in a way. They're adding the Lightning Network, and you can make a really strong argument that Brian Armstrong, out of all people, is one of the biggest advocates for the Lightning Network and pushing it forward, right? So anyways, what do you think?
I mean, again, Coinbase is one of the slowest to adopt anything that makes Bitcoin, that shows Bitcoin to be the powerhouse that it is. They'd rather shill just horrible shit coins in the back. Oh, look how much Nano went up today. That one's fast and cheap, Bitcoin can't do that. And so it's just the work that people put in beforehand to get Lightning where it is today, made it so that he couldn't ignore it. It was a necessity that they added. We're in a country where everyone that's using Bitcoin is using Lightning. And so it's kind of hard to ignore that for too long. I mean, they did their best, but yeah, here they are, they're adding it, and it will help with people realizing how useful Lightning is. But at the same time, delete Coinbase.
And it might hurt, and what you said, it might hurt their business in the process, because people start to realize how useful it's what are you going to use? All the altcoins that are look, we can scale, we're faster than the Bitcoin, small payments, buy your coffee, Lightning literally kills that narrative, in a heartbeat. So yeah, I completely agree, delete Coinbase, but at the same time, man, Brian Armstrong, biggest, he could be responsible for the biggest adoption of the Lightning Network, which is just surreal. It's kind of funny how that happens. Anyways, here's some more quotes from the article, No BS article. We're thrilled to announce that Coinbase has selected Lightspark to bring the Bitcoin Lightning Network to its platform. We're working with the Coinbase team on technical integration. Okay, quick comment there. I love how Coinbase is this massive fucking public company and they're using a third party to roll out the Lightning. They can't develop that themselves. They're so focused on the shit coins. I find that hilarious.
We were on Simply earlier talking about it, but I mean, it's kind of their thing. Trusted third parties. So I guess it's par for the course.
Yeah, man. And also at this point, you have Coinbase holding the vast majority of Bitcoin that's in the ETFs in custody. And now they could literally, do you think they're going to watch your tutorials to set up their node?
Maybe Brian will, reach out, Brian. I can help you learn what a Lightning address is. The time that he went to send, it was Joe Nakamoto was like, hey, what was it? Armstrong said that he was going to send Joe Nakamoto some Bitcoin, and Joe sent him. He was like, yeah, here you go, and gave him a Lightning address. And Brian thought it was a fucking email address. He didn't even realize what it was. And this is how, I mean, maybe egg on face from that moment was the moment that he was like, maybe I should know about this. Maybe that was, I credit Joe. So
it wasn't Brian Armstrong. It was Joe Nakamoto that has made Lightning worldwide, just out of trolling him. It's funny how powerful Bitcoin Twitter is and how that stuff works out. Anyways, it goes on to say Coinbase will be using Lightspark's remote key signing implementation, with the Lightning signing keys entirely held by Coinbase, while Lightspark hosts their Lightning node. See, so Lightspark actually watched your tutorials. This integration allows Coinbase to benefit from a scalable, reliable, and fully optimized node infrastructure that provides a deep suite of functionality through a simple and intuitive interface. We're excited to partner with Lightspark to eliminate payment barriers. I think out of like this whole article, I think like this is the signal, just because of who it's coming from, which is specifically Sean Agarwal, and he's the VP of Corporate and Business Development at Coinbase. And he says, we're excited to partner with Lightspark to eliminate payment barriers and enable faster and cheaper Bitcoin transactions through support for the Bitcoin Lightning Network. It goes on to say, lightning up all Coinbase touch points with Lightning will profoundly impact lighting up all Coinbase touch points with Lightning will profoundly impact the overall network usage at a time when it's needed most, given the rising price of Bitcoin and Bitcoin layer 1 fees, added Lightspark in press release. And then here's a screenshot of Brian Armstrong for the audio listeners that says, has been great working with Lightspark on our Lightning integration, which should be launching soon. So, I mean, look, Ben, I know you're delete Coinbase. I know that was in the title, brother, but yeah, I mean, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Maybe that's the correct statement for this.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is for enemies, and yeah, I mean, they added Lightning, so I'll give them a tip of the hat, and the tutorial will be how to withdraw from Coinbase into your own self custody via Lightning.
I heard tip.
Yes, that I will give many tips.
Okay, was that a pun?
I think so.
Are you suggesting something? Okay. Anyways, all right. So the next news I want to cover today is Argentina unveiled mandatory registry for Bitcoin and crypto platforms. Now, we've been covering this on Simply Sessions for quite a while, and specifically an organization that is responsible for this, and we'll cover that in a second. But anyways, the article, which is written by our buddy Crypto Bastardo, shout out to his channel Satoshi in Venezuela, goes on to say, with the anarcho-capitalist libertarian leader Javier Milei taking power in Argentina in December 2023, many felt that his plans to rebuild the national economy, dollarize it, would help Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies adoption in the country. But after a few months of his government, more regulation is coming. In late March, the Comisión Nacional de Valores in Argentina announced a new mandatory registry for virtual asset service providers for those operating with crypto assets in the country. Companies and individuals doing that activity now will be asked to comply with the registration approved on March 14th by the Argentine Senate as part of the amendments to the current regulatory framework to address the Financial Action Task Force recommendations. Now, this, out of the entire article, this is signal right here. And we'll get back to that in a second, but it goes on to say this new requirement will affect businesses dedicated to providing several services such as buying, selling, and sending, receiving, lending, and trading cryptos. Every provider should complete the registration, and the regulations is not just for locally based companies, but also for those operating in the market but based elsewhere. By the way, this caused Strike to pull out of Argentina. They made the announcement because it affected one of the companies that Strike was using. Anyways, it goes on to say, this is a commentary from CNV's president, Roberto Silva, and he says, those who are not registered will not be able to operate in the country. After the announcement, the securities watchdog participated in a meeting with the country's main legal firms and the fintech chamber on the implementation of the registry. It goes on to say the law is part of what the previous administration had left Milei and was voted before his arrival to the Casa Rosada. Quote, it's a terrible idea to have a registry that enables the buying and selling of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money, not a security. It's as wrong as if currency exchange houses for dollars or euros or shops where gold is bought and sold had to register with the CNV. It's complete nonsense. And then this is the part also that I liked as well. And this kind of goes back to the whole Financial Action Task Force aspect of it. It goes on, quote, this benefits no one except maybe some state bureaucrats and an army of lawyers and useless people from the compliance industry. And again, out of this entire article, I would say this is signal as well. Specifically from, and this is actually someone that we've had on Simply Bitcoin. His name is Ronald. I forget Ronald. Let me see what his name is. Where are you? Here it is. Ronald Paul. And he actually did a study on the effectiveness of the Financial Action Task Force. So for anyone who doesn't know what the Financial Action Task Force is, it's an intergovernmental organization founded in 1989 on the initiative of the G7 to develop policies to combat money laundering and to maintain certain interests. Now, what's really interesting about this is that this is an unelected bureaucracy. The leader, the president of the FATFA, he's appointed by members of the organization. There's we always hear like it's a danger to democracy. Democracy is so important. This person isn't democratically elected. He's just selected, right? Which is interesting. And they have so much influence on the world's financial regulations. Now, a lot of the side effects, the unintended consequences of this organization is that a lot of countries, people can't open bank accounts because they deem them as risky. Now, here's the thing. What tends to happen is that the lower income countries tend to be higher risk. So financial institutions look at that and they say, that's not a profitable thing. With compliance, it's not really profitable for us to go in there. And that creates a situation called de-risking, right? So a lot of people don't have access to financial institutions because the financial institutions are looking at those countries and saying, look, the compliance costs are going to outweigh any type of profit we're going to make from expanding to those countries. That's never talked about, right? It's talked about in certain studies, but none of the unintended consequences of this organization are talked about. And this is exactly what Bitcoin fixes. And this type of bullshit, forgive my language, is like a step in the wrong direction, right? And another thing about the Financial Action Task Force that I wanted to mention, and specifically about this gentleman, Ronald Paul, he's not active on Twitter anymore, is the actual effectiveness of this, right? So Ronald Paul states that while the FATF has been very successful in getting its policies adopted worldwide, the actual impact of those policies is rather small. According to Paul's estimates, less than 1% of illegal profits are seized, with the cost of implementing the policies being at least 100 times larger. And now this reminds me of a congressional testimony where Tom Emmer was asking the head of the FinCEN about the bogus Wall Street Journal article. And the head of the FinCEN even admitted that terrorists prefer using the traditional financial system over Bitcoin. Now, what's really interesting is in the traditional financial system, all of this shit is already implemented. So it doesn't make sense, right? So like to kind of double back and, put a bow on top of this, kind of disappointed in this so-called libertarian candidate, kind of disappointed in the direction that Argentina is going. But this is why we have countries like El Salvador that at least continue to believe in freedom and Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's again, at the end of the day, never trust a politician further than you can throw them, which isn't very far, obviously. And I have to believe, obviously, you get the Financial Action Task Force involved. They're just going to regulate to regulate. It's rules for thee, not for me. All the elites get to choose who gets to do what, and it's not a mistake that the people who create and the people who regulate money are doing things that make it much more difficult to have better money. So
it's almost like it's almost as if they're doing it on purpose, But who could have thought? Anyways, speaking of people that used to say that Bitcoin was a scam, we have Larry Fink, who infamously said in October 13th of 2017 that Bitcoin is an index of money laundering. Boy, have things have shifted. Here is Larry Fink in one of his latest interviews on the legacy corporate media. Everyone always beats me up for saying moving the Overton window, but I'm going to continue to say it because it's so important. Bitcoin has to seem acceptable in the eyes of the mainstream populace. Here's Larry Fink. I'll let him say it himself.
Look, I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's
Really?
gone up. I mean, look, it is. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
I thought, yes.
Well, IBIT is your ETF
Yes.
over at iShares.
Yes.
it's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly into
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
That is absolutely insane. Clearly, Larry Fink is watching Why Are We Bullish, because he said, I'm very feeling bullish. The lady was saying words like gains, which is absolutely hilarious. But the signal there is this is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. And then I'll drop some numbers for you guys as well. Out of 3,100 ETFs in the US currently live, there's 2 Bitcoin ETFs. They've only been around for a couple of months that are already in the top 5 out of 3,100, right? So, you know, tomorrow, this is why I'm bullish.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it shows people, it shows how little needs to happen for this thing to just be an absolute steamroller of everything else, right? And this is just the early innings. There's people that are eyeing this stuff that are still doing due diligence to add it to their funds. There's like, this is the initial inflows of the first few months. When you saw, again, when gold got its ETF, over the next 6-7 years, it did like a 7x or something. I was listening to Larry Lepard talk about this. Gold did a 7x, but it already had a massive general market cap at the time. And Bitcoin is small in comparison right now. And this is just the first few months, let alone the next 6 or 7 years. So imagine the amount of demand that will begin to grow as people open up their minds and say, man, yeah, maybe I'll put it like a couple percent or something.
Yeah, and then the couple percent start to snowball, right? So like that couple percent start to outperform the rest of your portfolio, and then it goes from 1% to 2% to 3%. And I think we're like at this like crossroads right now where you have Michael Saylor on the public company level, literally vindicating his strategy. He's outperforming everyone, right? Like if you take a look at Michael Saylor's stock, like don't trust verify, go Google it right now. In fact, I'll Google it. It's literally looks like a shit coin because it's like the
growth has been insane.
Yeah,
like it's a big hack, of course.
It's like literally it's like a hockey stick up. I'm not saying that his thing is like, I'm not saying it's a shit coin, but you know, like in terms of like, look at that thing, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and like it just literally went up. And then if you're taking a look at this, like, look, it went from $144 before he adopted the Bitcoin strategy. Then this was the bull market of 21. And then, you know, we had the bear market. This thing went to 141. And then boom, $1,704 per share, per MicroStrategy share since he adopted the Bitcoin strategy. So
I just realized you're not even.
I'm not even. We're even. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect. So we're doing it live. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Like he adopted the Bitcoin strategy. His share went from $150 to $1,700, basically at 10x, right? And you know, this is Bitcoin, right? And again, like you don't have to go crazy like Michael Saylor and, you know, go balls to the wall. But if you're a company like Apple or Google and you're holding cash on your balance sheet, it's like a melting ice cube. Like, could you imagine if you're holding a cash alternative and not only is that cash alternative maintaining its purchasing power, it's actually increasing in purchasing power, which is going to be a net benefit to your stock. It is a no-brainer. It's only a matter of time before Facebook or Google, any of these companies come to their senses. They're looking over at this, right? And market forces do what market forces do best, and they pull the trigger. And then, Ben, all hell, like, I'm telling you, as soon as the headline says Apple bought Bitcoin and has it on their balance sheet, dude, like maybe we should just retire.
Yeah, it's wild. And like this chart that you're looking at right now, this is the beginning of, this is pre-halving, beginning of a bull market, and this is what MicroStrategy has done. Like let's revisit this in a year and a half and see what that looks like.
Absolutely. I think it's gonna melt brains, melt minds. I don't know if that's how you say it. Anyways, here's Jack Mallers. He's a simple man, and I love the simplicity of it. So here's about a 1 minute 30-second clip.
Don't own anything outside of Bitcoin, my house, and my company. Period. Because we have internally at Strike, we actually have this culture where the cost of capital is Bitcoin. So it's like we don't have a culture where people are like, oh man, we're doing so well. We really want to hire all these people, or we really want to get nicer desks. We don't have that. We as a business, we just stack sats. That's it. That's it. It's like everything that you spend capital on that isn't Bitcoin is your short Bitcoin. So for me personally, this is how I live my life. It's either an experience I value with people I love, or it's a home, a place where I can build experiences and take care of people that I love. That's it. That's it. I eat ground beef. It's crazy. But like, my girl who's, wasn't initially a Bitcoiner when I met her. And initially you're like, oh man, do you want to get a place in no. I get homes if I live in them. I don't get real estate. I don't get fancy clothes. I don't get anything outside of sats. That's it. I'm not buying fucking Balenciaga no. Shorting Bitcoin for pants.
I mean, bro, drop mic straight up.
Are pants a shitcoin?
Yeah.
I'm not wearing pants right now.
Wearing pants either, bro. I mean, like when we say touch the tips, like it already happened.
Okay, so I'm very happy that we're down here also with Max and Stacy.
By the way, we're referring to hair, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Anyways, well, let's move on.
So no, but like I think Jack is 100% spot on. Like the way of approaching it, it's very simple, and like the traditional financial system makes it so that you're forced to become a part-time investor just to maintain your purchasing power. Bitcoin simplifies that entire process where you just have to worry about what you do for a living, and you put that into Bitcoin, and you can get on with your life, right? It like simplifies your life versus traditional financial system. You have to become a part-time investor, put your money in real estate, hire a financial advisor. Like it's a shit show, right? And what I've experienced, Ben, and I'm sure you've done this as well, like with your one-on-ones, is the unfucking of someone's mind, which is like, so you're saying all I have to do is buy Bitcoin, and it's so simple, it's complicated in their mind because they've been used to operating in this fiat world where like they've had to jump through so many hoops just to maintain your purchasing power, and that's not the case anymore. Yeah,
it's again, I keep on parroting these three kind of key tenets that it used to be like this, and then fiat land happened, and it made it complicated like you described, but we're back to a place where you can do three simple things. Number one, create value for others. Number two, spend less than you earn. Number three, save in Bitcoin. If you can follow that, give, and you just set some stuff aside, give yourself 4 or 5 years, you're going to be in a very different place. Give yourself 8 to 10 years, you're going to be walking on easy street.
100% agree with that. Anyways, our last story for today is another example of the U.S. government completely dropping the ball. And our boy Nick actually wrote this. Opti air horns, please. Thank you, sir. All right. So the headline article for the audio listeners is U.S. government preparing to sell 30,000 Silk Road Bitcoin. It goes on to say, today the U.S. government sent a transaction that appears to indicate that it may be on the verge of liquidating the remaining Bitcoin it confiscated from the online marketplace. According to on-chain data, a 0.001 Bitcoin transaction, part of a larger stash of approximately 30,000 Bitcoin worth $2 billion, linked to the infamous Silk Road marketplace, removed by the U.S. government. Coinbase, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the United States, received the transaction from these Silk Road related funds. It goes on to say Arkham Intelligence first identified the origins of where Bitcoin, the BTC was coming from, and the coin's destination of Coinbase. It appears the purpose of this transaction is to sell the coins, as it has previously done so in the past. Now, here's the first funny part. Last March, the U.S. government sold off 10,000 Bitcoin related to Silk Road. What a terrible effing trade, bro. Hashtag wrecked. Selling just 9,861 Bitcoin, or it's $216 million. So I think that's like what is that? 3x now?
Yeah.
And then and this is the funny part, like with the cherry on top, is like, why would they sell Bitcoin for something that they can just make out of thin air? That makes no sense whatsoever. Like, what the fuck are they thinking there?
They literally could have said, what's the current market value of Bitcoin? Cool. Can we just print that and then also have the Bitcoin? Hell, we could do double, triple, quadruple, quintuple. Like, well, we could print any amount of money that anybody would give us for these coins. And if we sell these for that money right now, we will never be able to print any more of those. We will have to buy them back. We'll have to purchase them back and hope that people will accept our shitcoin for them.
Dude, it's like, it's such like an indication of like how much fiat fucks up your mind. Like, that trade makes, like, who's making that decision? Like, that's insane to me, right? So anyways, that's fiat world for you. That's the news for today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you're here for the tech update. Sorry, you can't piss off for this.
No, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna take just a quick shout out to our sponsors before we dive into the tech updates. So we'll be right back. Peer-to-peer trading and lending, instant self-custody, and no KYC, HODL HODL is the place to be. You can sign up with just an email address, and once you're there, you can start browsing offers immediately, whether you're looking to buy and sell, or whether you're looking to lend or borrow. You can check them out today at the links down below. Start9 is your sovereign computing solution, allowing you to use plug-and-play devices to host not only your Bitcoin stack, but your digital life. You can run things like your Bitcoin Core node, your Lightning node, mempool.space, join market, as well as your personal data, files, passwords, photos, Nostr relays and clients, and even some AI tools without censorship. They have everything from entry-level devices all the way up to what I'm running, which is the Start9 Server Pure. You can check them out over at start9.com and be sure to use code BTC Sessions with a plus sign in order to get an 18% discount off of the Server Pure. When it comes to assisted multisig and inheritance planning, it's hard to beat NUNCHUK.io and their Honey Badger program. On your mobile device, they allow you to set up a full multi-signature vault. And once it's done, you have baked in inheritance planning so that your Bitcoin gets to your next of kin if anything should happen to you. On top of this, the entire thing can be set up with devices like the Tap Signer, the Cold Card, and plenty more options. And the whole thing can be done without KYC. You don't need to give up your personal information to have it set up and working for you. You can check them out today over at nunchuk.io. Oh shit, we're live. We're live.
No one saw that, right?
Yeah, what's going on there? All right, let's dive into the tech updates here. So just a couple things I wanted to touch on here. So Cold Card Q1 firmware 1.1.0 released. So a couple cool things, and actually this was Rodolfo. I literally just messaged him about this the other day. I was like, you know, it'd be cool if it did this, and then he just did it. So thanks, Rodolfo. Anyways, enhancement: scan any QR code and report if it is part of a wallet this Cold Card knows the key for. So that includes multi-sig and single sig wallets. So basically, if you're looking at an address, you can just scan it, and your Cold Card will be like, yep, this is your address. The other thing, which is kind of cool, calculator login mode. So when enabled, the usual PIN screen is replaced by a functional calculator. And when you get there, you can put in your PIN and enter it, and it will then segue you into the actual the actual wallet. So if you're going through TSA and they're like, what the hell is this? You'd be like, it's a calculator. You turn it on, you can do some equations. So anyways, kudos to Rodolfo for rolling that out. Also in the Q front, nunchuk.io, they just rolled out support for BBQR, which is the QR code standard for Cold Card Q. So you can now use your Q using the air-gapped QR scanner method, both now on Sparrow, as well as Nunchuk, as well as Liana Wallet, which I haven't played around with, but they just rolled out support for that as well. So pretty cool. Couple other quick things. Bisq version 2.0.2, some fixes and improvements there, but just wanted to draw attention to it again, as obviously if you're in a jurisdiction, perhaps like maybe you're down in Argentina and you don't like the idea of everything having to be registered, just fucking get Bisq. Fuck those fuckers. There you go. Or hodl. It's another great example of a peer-to-peer option. So, when somebody tells you no, be like water, my friends. Last couple things here. We are indeed in El Salvador for the halving party. And so I'm calling them scavenger hunts instead of scavenger hunts.
Oh, okay.
So I got to give a shout out to the legends over at Blink. So Blink is like a custodial Lightning wallet, but they said, hey, if you want to do some of these little hunts, they printed me out some stickers, so I'm leaving these around. I'm going to be leaving them around here at the resort for the party, but I'm also going to be in El Zonte after this, and I'm going to be leaving these everywhere. And people that pick them up, you're going to get, if you take a picture and prove that you found it and leave your Lightning address, you get 50,000 sats each time you find one. So
could you tell me where they all, never mind.
low key backstage, let you know. So if you're here at the halving party and you happen to see this, everybody's too drunk on the beach, nobody's going to see this. But nonetheless, shout out to Blink for helping me do this. It should be a lot of fun. I also want to give a shout out to my new hire, Selly. He's awesome, but he also did a redesign of my website, which I think looks pretty dope. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think it looks nice. So yeah, if you want to check out the new design, btcsessions.ca. And the last thing I wanted to mention, and I've kind of been low key mentioning this here and there, but I'm starting to be a little bit more publicly visible with it. But Bitcoin Mentor, this is my new company. I'm starting with a good friend. We may have we'll keep it low key, but we may have a little bit of Nico involvement there down the line. We'll chat. But Bitcoin Mentor, basically, I do these one-on-ones with people, right? People reach out to me and say, hey, can I book you for an hour, learn about something? I don't have the time to do as many as there's demand for. And so the solution in my eyes was to create an army of educators that can do that. And not just like add a bunch of people. Oh, you know Bitcoin, cool, you're on, and we'll just send people to you. No, like we had 350 people apply to be educators with Bitcoin Mentor. When we launch, we're going to narrow it down to a total of somewhere between 10 and 15. So it's absolutely cutthroat. We're going with the best of the best. And then when they get in, they're not done, because I'm going to train them. I'm going to train them and educate them on how to educate. And then we will have, yeah, sure, you can book individuals, or you can go, we're going to have some like actual learning tracks. Hey, I want to do the basic self-custody. Hey, I want to learn how to run a node, but like, actual steps that you take in individual sessions where you cover certain concepts and have an actual curriculum. So we're going that route. And then on top of that, we're going to do an assisted multi-sig with Nunchuk as our back end. So
bars.
Yeah. So anyways, if you want to check it out, I don't believe we're currently looking for additional educators, although you can throw it out there, may as well. But also if you're just, you want to see when it drops and you want to see what's out there for education, you can just click that you want to be a protege, aka client, and drop your email address, and we'll keep you updated as that comes. So yeah, super stoked about that. Very excited to, I guess, start the next iteration of whatever BTC Sessions is going to become.
Bro, you're creating clones.
It's the
educational clones.
Yeah. I also have to caveat, everybody that's a part of Bitcoin Mentor must touch their tips.
All right, but I'm claiming co-founder because I was number 2. So yeah,
it's happening. But anyways,
are we ranking the tips? What's oh man, his name? I love you, Nathan. There we go, Nathan Fast. So what's his rank?
I mean, 3. He was 3rd.
What is 3rd in a company? I don't even know.
I don't know. We'll see. We gotta have a tip meeting. We'll have a meeting of the tips to figure out what's going on.
CTO, Chief Tip Officer.
Oh my God.
Boom. Boom.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Open source Ben we're getting from the chat here. And also shout out to World of Rusty. He could not make it here for the halving party, but I did bring some plushy yellows. Yellow doesn't have a yellow until now.
I gotta say, like, meeting Yellow in person was a very spiritual event for me. And you know, I had to hug him.
Yeah. Also the live performance of Don't Stop Believing was a sight to behold. Like it was like being in the spaces with all the thumbs up and the fists, but with real life fists all in front of the stage for DSP. And it was a sight. I got some awesome pictures too, just like the silhouette of Yellow looking up at the screen of his own image.
It was all dudes fist bumping and dancing on next to a stage. Yes, exactly like Twitter, but in real life.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a sight to behold. So anyways, guys, we're gonna round out here. That was a blast. Again, like, sub, share, hit the previously mentioned sponsors down below. And I think we're gonna do a live Why Are We Bullish tomorrow.
Yes, sir, we are.
Yeah,
we are.
We don't even know who's going to be on it. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll have some transient guests come through and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be great. I
Cool.
think you guys have to stay tuned.
We'll see. Yeah. So, and that's going to be, that's probably going to be at like 1 El Salvador time. So what is that Eastern? That's 3 Eastern.
3 p.m. Yeah.
3 Eastern. Yeah. Something like that. Anyways, keep an eye out to, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we'll find, we'll do it live. We will do it live.
We'll do it live.
All right. Cool. Well, guys, have a great rest of your day. This has been, should we do it together? This has been your Simply Session. Cheers.
Hodl the Bitcoin.